Now, from Wish TV, this is The Zone Extra, presented by Old National Bank. Coming up tonight, the winter sports season is in full swing. In the Coach's Corner, we look back at a first-ever football state championship for Decatur Central. Plus, our Athlete of the Week is a leader for the Zionsville boys basketball program.
Leading this team, it is a lot bigger of a role than I thought I was even last year as a junior, even though I was our leading scorer.
We're throwing down a new Zone Extra right now.
Good evening and welcome into the Zone Extra. I'm Angela Morian. What a great week of high school sports we've had with basketball, wrestling, and swimming programs all in action. In Coach's Corner, we'll look back and celebrate a first ever football state championship for Decatur Central. Head coach Kyle Enright and a pair of his Hawks are in studio to break it all down. Plus, our Athlete of the Week is a senior leader for the Zionsville boys basketball program. We'll introduce you to Eagles guard Maguire Mitchell. And our Play of the Week comes courtesy of University High School. Now let's take a look at this week in high school sports. Last Friday evening was a busy one on the hardwood as boys basketball season kicked into high gear. At Carmel, the Hounds led by 3 at the break, but pulled away in the second half to pick up a 24-point win over Lawrence Central. In the Hoosier Crossroads, it was Hamilton Southeastern hosting Avon. In a close one, it's the visiting Orioles getting the 51-48 victory. And at Noblesville, it was a top 5 showdown as the Millers hosted number 1 and defending 4A state champion Fishers. This game was all Tigers as they rolled to a 34-point win, remain unbeaten on the young season. Here's a look at this week's Class 4A boys basketball rankings, all but one coming right here in Central Indiana. Fishers Tigers taking that number 1 spot. Greenfield Central and Carmel 2 and 3. Then there's Jeffersonville and Lawrence North. Saturday at Brownsburg, it was the Sneakers for Santa shootout. Number 2 Greenfield Central, speaking of, taking on Ben Davis. Pick it up with under 90 seconds to go. Cougars down 4. Braylon Mullins gets the shooter's bounce on the 3. He had 41 in this game. Greenfield Central down a point. After a Ben Davis turnover, it's Michael Johnson driving to the hoop. Of course he finishes. Greenfield Central takes the lead and they win it 57-52. Also at the Sneakers for Santa shootout, 3A, number 1 Crispus Attucks taking on East Chicago Central. 7-point game in the second. Iman Cousins, the drive and hoop as he gets the bucket to go. Attucks leads by 9 at the break. 3-point game in the third. Tigers quickly up the floor. They set up Cousins in the corner for 3. That goes in. 21 points for him, and Attucks stays perfect on the season. 69-59, the win there. Speaking of Attucks, they are holding on to that number 1 spot in the 3A boys basketball rankings. Elsewhere in the top 5, South Bend St. Joseph is number 2, Garin Catholic 3, Cathedral, and New Palestine at 4 and 5. In girls hoops, Tuesday night was a top 10 match between number 4 Center Grove and number 9 Plainfield. Trojans up 8 in the second. Ella Sprong lays it up, gets the basket and the foul, an old-fashioned 3. Center Grove lead reaches double digits. Plainfield not going away though. Fourth quarter, it's Hannah Menster who knocks down the triple. Quakers up a point. Center Grove up 2 now with under a minute left. Ava Grant, she's looking for 3, open on the wing, drains it. Center Grove wins 58-48. Also Tuesday night, unbeaten and number 2, Hamilton Southeastern hosting Pendleton Heights. Second quarter, Kayla Stidham finds a cutting KK Holman, who lays it in for 2 of her 12 points. HSC up 7. Later in the corner, it's Maya Makaluski beyond the arc. A team high 19 for the future Indiana Hoosier. HSE wins it 53-33. The top 5 in Class 4A girls basketball has Lawrence Central up at the top, number 1. At 2 is Hamilton Southeastern, 3 Homestead, 4 Center Grove, and rounding out the top 5 is number 5 Warsaw. From the hardwood to the pool, where we are well into the season for both boys and girls swimming, the Brownsburg Bulldogs have a brand new facility. Brownsburg opened its newly renovated natatorium last month. Look at that. The facility has 10 lanes and can be up to 50 meters in length. It will hold around 1,000 spectators as well. Wow. Athletic Director Dave Lang said during the renovation over the past year and a half, the Brownsburg team has been traveling to Pike for practice and competition. So having a home venue once again is something special.
I don't think there's a nicer swim facility at a high school in a state. It's wonderful. We desperately needed a new facility that had better lighting and a few more lanes for our swim program, which is growing, better seating for fans and things like that. It was hot in here. It's not quite as hot anymore. So it's a lot of improvements that were much needed over a long period of time.
Looks beautiful. A busy week on the wrestling calendar as well. Last Saturday, it was Cathedral hosting its Super 6 event featuring the Irish, Avon, Warren Central, Columbus North, Greenfield Central, and Ryle High School out of Kentucky. In the end, it was 4th-ranked Avon going a perfect 5-0 on the day, with 6th-ranked Cathedral finishing 4-1 overall. Time for a break, but we have much more ahead on the Zone Extra. Up next, look who's here, the Coach's Corner. We celebrate Decatur Central's first football title with Coach Kyle Enright and a couple of star Hawks. And still ahead, he leads his basketball team in multiple categories this season. Coming up, we'll introduce you to our Athlete of the Week from Zionsville.
This is the Zone Extra, presented by Old National Bank. This is the Zone Extra Coach's Corner.
Welcome back into Zone Extra. Now time for Coach's Corner. A couple weeks ago, Decatur Central brought home its first state championship title in football, and it was because of these gentlemen right here. We got head coach Kyle Enright, quarterback Bo Polston, and Pharrell Carter, who had the game-winning interception, which we'll talk about in a minute. But Coach, we'll start with you. Now that you've had time to reflect, it's been a few weeks since the jubilation happened on that Saturday after Thanksgiving. What has this entire trip and season and championship meant for the school, the team, and the community?
Oof, it's been surreal. I mean, it feels like a dream. I've had multiple people, say it's kind of like a movie. I mean, the season was so amazing that it just feels like a movie. But after reflecting, on the season, we just feel like there's so many great coaches and players that came before that almost got it done, that didn't quite get it done, and then so many people that weren't with us on the field, that have since passed, that were with us on the field that night. So just this group, they turned dreams into reality and got it done for so many people that came before them and that will come after. So it feels great to get the first one in school history. Just an amazing feeling.
You mentioned those who couldn't be there, and I know your offensive line coach lost his wife the week of the state championship. That's so tough, so troubling for the community. How did you guys rally through that and help make Coach Sheep, as you call him, right?
Coach Sheep, yeah.
How did you see him get through that week of?
Leanna was a big part of the Hawk family, and so you're not just family by blood. So friends and his players and the community really just were there for him, and made it, something that, it's hard for any young person to deal with loss. Especially in a week of such a big momentous occasion like the state championship. So managing those emotions, I think the best way to do that is just to be around people that you love. So, the love from the community and the players to Coach Sheep, I think was really special that week. And at least for, 2 or 3 hours that night, he got to put that out of his mind and watch, his O-line play a great game and dominate Warsaw. So. And
win a 5A state championship for Leanne, I'm sure as well. Well, let's take a look at some of these highlights. Bo, you had a phenomenal game, close to 150 yards, a couple touchdowns in this 38-24 win over Warsaw. What play stuck out to you the most, though, as a game changer to get this win?
Offensively, we had a great game, running the ball, throwing the ball. We were able to spread it out wide, as you can see right here. But the game-changing play to me was we ran an ISO play up the middle with Pharrell over here. he broke a tackle and then made a spin move out to his right, and that kind of sold the deal. And, you know, as soon as that happened, you know, you could tell everybody was just, you know, ecstatic. You know, we finally just put the nail in the coffin, and that was the play that changed everything for us.
Coach, you have a couple juniors here in Bo Polson and Pharrell Carter, and you had 21 juniors that have been playing together since the second grade, right? All coming back next year. How big was that to have the continuity to get this kind of championship?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we only had 11 seniors. It's probably the lowest amount of seniors we've had in a season in a long time. Those seniors were very important and meaningful, and some of our captains, and Napo Dodo and Ashton Vogel and Bryson Bonnewood especially. But this junior class, you know, we've known for a long time that they have some special talent. I mean, they, you know, have played together the longest of any class that we've had, and you know, it's just a special kind of group feeling that they've had for a long time. So, you know, none of us were happy when we walked off the field last year at Lucas Oil Stadium. We were happy to be there, but they had a different goal in mind when we left that night. So I'm just really proud of the kids for getting that done. And you're right, we have a lot of people coming back. So, but we'll be in a new class next year, so that'll be interesting.
I love that you got all these juniors, special juniors, especially Mr. Carter over here, who had the game-sealing interception. And our producer, Brian, if we can bring this interception up to show everyone who missed it, what a phenomenal, not just play, but catch this was. Carter, I want you to take me through this play as you watch it here on the screen. What was going through your head as you just casually were like, okay, I got it?
I say I seen the ball go up in the air, and really I was just thinking, like, I knew the time was running down. I knew there was no time left on the clock, and you know, like you said, it was the first state championship Decatur has ever won, so I just wanted to go out in style. I knew it would be crazy, so I was really just like, I got to catch this with one hand, and, you know, I was happy I did.
You just palmed it,
Yeah.
and then you didn't even celebrate. Did you realize, you know, how big of a deal that catch and moment was?
No, I didn't really realize how big of a deal it was. I feel like I was more so happy that we had just won state. I didn't even care about the catch at the time, really.
Let's look at just quickly the accomplishments you guys have had all season long. A phenomenal offense, winning the last 10 straight games, including your first ever state championship, 11-2 overall. Coach, I'll give you a break. Bo and Pharrell, each of you, what are you most proud about besides your state championship from this season?
I would say the most proud I am is after a tough week 1 loss, we came out and, you know, we just got dominated. And then week 4, we had a 28-point lead and ended up losing to a really good Martinsville team. And I'm so proud of how we stuck together and went to battle together, and just, you know, being able to overcome adversity shows a lot about this group, and that's what I'm probably most proud of.
Pharrell?
One thing I'm proud of is how we weren't complacent. Like Coach Enright said, our goal wasn't just to get back, it was to get back and win it. So, you know, us being in Lucas Oil didn't faze us. He said before the game we could have played them at Decatur and it would have been the same outcome. So I was proud of how we weren't complacent, and, you know, we stayed focused and we got the job done.
I love that. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Congratulations on winning the first ever football state championship for Decatur Central. Enjoy that. Who's got the trophy for Christmas? That's going to be under somebody's tree, right? Coach's tree?
We might give it to, I don't know, Casimir. He might deserve it.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't mess it up, right? Bo said he almost fumbled it a couple of weeks ago. We got to keep an eye on this one. All right, thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Still ahead on Zone Extra, it's our Athlete of the Week. He's a senior leader for the Zionsville boys basketball team. Coming up, meet Eagles senior guard Maguire Mitchell. Plus, we connect with Paul Neidig of the IHSAA in our Ask the Commissioner segment. Stay with us.
This is the Zone Extra, presented by Old National Bank.
Welcome back into Zone Extra. Our Athlete of the Week is a Zionsville senior and recently signed his letter to play college basketball next year at IU Indy. Guard Maguire Mitchell is the leading scorer for the Eagles with over 17 points a game. He also leads the team in rebounds, steals, and blocks. There's nothing he can't do. Mitchell has started since his sophomore season. Coach J.R. Howell says he quickly became the team's top defender. Maguire says that his strength and ability to score at different levels has improved through the years, and adds that being able to play for and represent Zionsville is certainly special to him.
It means the world to me. Yeah, I've lived here my whole life, and it truly is like when I was younger looking up to the varsity team here. I just want to have that same outlook on the younger kids now and just continue to be a good role model for them.
His leadership is by example. I mean, he gets vocal at times when needed, but for the most part, he does a really good job of just showing the young guys what to do and not to do. He's been a great influence to the younger kids that we have coming through, not just the freshmen, but the young kids in middle school and elementary.
Leading this team, it's a lot bigger of a role than I thought I was even last year as a junior, even though I was our leading scorer. My energy rubs off on everyone else, and I think that's where I really, even if I'm not feeling it that day, I still have to bring the same amount of energy.
It's a great honor to be able to work with these kids for 4 years and then see them pursue their goals and have the opportunity to play basketball at the next level. You know, it's not as common as what it seems. It's really a pretty neat thing to see, and we really look forward to watching him and continuing to see him grow.
It truly is special. I have a big family, so they're going to be all my home games there too, and they're really excited for me. I love the coaches there, Coach Corsaro, and yeah, I'm really excited.
Congrats to Mitchell, and don't forget, Wish TV has a brand new sports app where we have all these kinds of stories that we feature on Zone Extra and The Zone, plus Colts, Pacers, Fever, and everything in between. Just scan that QR code and download the All Indiana Sports app now. It's free and can get everything you want to know about your teams right in the palm of your hand. Time for a break, but still more to come on the Zone Extra, including our Ask the Commissioner segment. Plus, we get you ready for a busy evening of high school basketball on the Zone tomorrow night. Stay with us.
This is the Zone Extra, presented by Old National Bank.
Welcome back into the Zone Extra. It's now time for Ask the Commissioner. Each week, we take one of your questions to IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig and bring you his answer. Here is this week's question. What is one specific high school basketball game you personally attended that you will never forget? Paul?
Oh, gosh, there are just so many. But I think for me, I actually played in it. It's when I had an opportunity to be a high school basketball player in the state of Indiana and got to play in the sectional in Princeton, Indiana. And I still remember to this day walking in and the lines outside of the facility for people to get in. And it was packed from the floor to the ceiling, and people were standing in line hoping that they could buy a ticket when somebody left. And I just remember that excitement. And that's when I first really understood what Indiana high school basketball was all about. You know, I certainly was a player, but I understood at that point what the fan aspect of high school basketball was. And I'll never forget that hot, loud gym when I was a senior in high school, playing in a high school sectional in Princeton, Indiana.
Sounds like a good time. Now it's time for my favorite part of the Zone Extra, and it's our Play of the Week. Each week we feature one of the top plays from the world of high school sports in Central Indiana. This week goes to University High School, hosting Greenwood Christian Saturday. Greenwood Christian takes the lead with seconds to go, but wait, here's Blake Gray at the buzzer. A thrilling three. Congratulations to Gray and the Trailblazers as they get the win. Look at this replay. Oh, gotta love it. Make sure you submit your plays every week to see if you can be featured. Don't forget about our game of the week tomorrow night at 7:30. New Pal is on the road at Greenfield Central. You can watch that game on our sister station, My Indy TV 23. And of course, we're going to have highlights for you on The Zone, which always starts at 11:08. Speaking of, we got a big night of high school hoops all over Central Indiana that we'll have scores and highlights for on the app and on The Zone. We're featuring 10 games tomorrow. Let's take a look at some of the big time matchups that we'll be covering. Carmel and Noblesville, Warren Central at Crispus Attucks, Pike Brownsburg, Rebuff HSE, and Arsenal Tech at Cathedral. It's going to be a great night of basketball in the basketball state. Make sure you join us tomorrow on The Zone for the best high school sports coverage in town. And please don't forget to download the app. We are going to have pictures and scores and everything you need to know from your favorite teams and high school action right here. So just scan that QR code. I know you got your phone in your hand. Just scan the screen right there. It's real easy. Camera app, scan, download. We appreciate you watching tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow on The Zone. See you then.